There was a time when gambling was illegal in this country. Illegal as in officially frowned upon, and illegal as in against the law. At the same time, there was a great deal of gambling. It was an enormous, illicit, underground industry. There were bookies in every community, people who would take bets on just about anything, mostly sporting events like horse racing and boxing. Those were the two big ones, taking as their cut of the action the vig, or the vigorish, 5 or 10%. And there were clubs with locked doors, guards, and passwords where people who knew the right people could play games of chance, mostly poker and blackjack, possibly roulette, and perhaps, in the swankier joints, even an occasional one-armed bandit. And there were people with whom you could play the numbers. That was called the rackets, and the ones in the game were called racketeers. They had a dedicated army of youngsters who ran the numbers, meaning that you could fill out a slip of paper with your numbers, along with the money you were betting, and the kid would take it to the local head of the racket on a certain day. The winning number would be announced, and maybe you knew somebody who had won once. This wasn't like another of the rackets, extortion, where people paid money for protection. Nobody forced you to play the numbers. People played because it added excitement to their lives, it was fun, and sometimes you knew somebody who won. That was what we called a more colorful time, and it's all gone now. The powers that be came to their senses somehow and figured, why should we let the criminal element profit from all of this gambling? Why should we spend all our time and money trying to stop them from doing it? No one is forcing the people to gamble. They want to gamble. Why don't we profit from that? Slowly, the great dumb beast of government moved in on the rackets, and eventually they made it legal, a stroke of genius. But they didn't call it gambling anymore. They didn't want to be involved in gambling. That is, they did not want to appear to be involved in gambling. So they called it gaming. People weren't gambling, they were gaming. They were playing like children. There was nothing wrong with this, wrong with some clean, innocent, wholesome fun. That way, see, they didn't have to change the law. The powers that be don't like to change the law. You start changing the law here, you can see where that could lead. So gambling was still illegal. This new thing was gaming, and that was okay. And so now you could wager at racetracks and at off-track parlors, and there are casinos, first in Las Vegas and Atlantic City, and now in every small town and Indian reservation in the land. And you can bet on anything you want. If they don't have what you want to bet on, you can tell them about it, and they'll come up with some odds and take your bet. And all those racketeers who ran the numbers games have been replaced by state lotteries. The state lottery was one of the finest plums ever concocted by any government. It's better than any tax, whether income, property, or sales, and it's even better than Social Security. When the state lotteries first appeared, it was pretty straightforward. It was a simple numbers game. You picked, let's say, 8 numbers from 1 to 40. Your odds of winning were small, freakishly so, but if someone did win, as someone inevitably did, it was a huge payoff. And everybody knew about it, the big winner. And all the proceeds from the game, the difference between all the money that all the people had bet and the money that went out as a payoff, this went to benefit the schools. So now, if you were gaming, not only did you stand a chance of winning big, but you were also helping the kids. It was the socially responsible, even charitable thing to do. Over time, the state lotteries became more and more complicated. It was easy to see that it was an idea that could be developed and extended and multiplied. Now there isn't just a simple numbers game. Now there's a banquet of choices, 10, 20 different ways you can lay your money down. The games all have fun-sounding games, and there are live shows on television with ping-pong balls and forced air machines where the numbers come up and the winning combinations are happily announced by joyful people who are very clearly having fun. and the children in the schools, presumably, are still the beneficiaries of all this action. I mention all of this for one reason. I want to see an audit of these lotteries, all of them, in every state that has one. I want an account of every red cent and last dime, if that's possible. All the money pouring in every day at all the gas stations and convenience stores, money, 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 and then the winners paid in increments, and of course all the rest of the money goes to the children in the schools. Sure, I say audit all the lotteries now. It's probably impossible. How could you track all that money? It's like trying to count the grains of sand on a beach. And if it were ever done, the auditors would be bought off long before they ever reported their results. Come on, the lottery officials would say, don't spoil the party. This is a good thing. It's fun. You can be a part of it. There's enough for all of us. But just for the heck of it, talk about fun. Wouldn't it be fun to see just how much money all these state lottery officials are pocketing? And who are they? How do you become a state lottery official? How do you add your pocket to this vast sea of money? And speaking of grains of sand on a beach, is there a beach somewhere? Oh, a beautiful beach, or a secluded resort community populated by none other than all the state lottery officials. Is there some way that I could be a state lottery official? I'd much rather be a state lottery official than someone who is playing the game. Wouldn't you? Because these are the real players. Those are the ones who are having all the fun. But if you are playing, would you please remember to play responsibly?